When Obiora got his NYSC posting letter and saw Kogi State, his heart didn't skip a beat. In fact, he smiled. While others were lobbying to get redeployed to Lagos or Abuja, he saw it as an opportunity, an adventure. After all, life had pampered him enough. His father was a wealthy businessman in Enugu. His mother owned a chain of boutiques, and he had never really lacked anything. But he didn't walk around announcing his background. He preferred to keep a low profile. He was posted to a government secondary school in a small community just outside Ida. The school was modest, the kind you'd find in many Nigerian towns, plastered walls showing signs of wear, metal windows that squeezed when opened, and wide verandas that served as multipurpose spaces during break time. The classrooms were decent, often noisy with chatter and enthusiasm. The desks, they were worn but usable, and the walls bore motivational posters and faded timetables. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. Obiora studied statistics in school, but the school needed a mathematics teacher, and so, mathematics it was. Obiora gave it his best. He taught with patience, cracked jokes to lighten formulas, and sometimes used everyday items like bottle caps and stones to explain tough concepts. Soon, the students loved him, not just for his teaching style, but because he listened. He corrected them gently without flogging. He promoted cleanliness, punctuality, and dedication. Some students even began to polish their shoes better just to impress him. "Uncle Copper," the students would yell, chasing him playfully around the school compound. Obiora became more than just a club member. They saw him as one of their own. He was the teacher who didn't beat unnecessarily, who reminded them to cut their nails and wash their socks. The one who said, "You can't carry last if you try your best." Obiora started to get used to the rhythm of the town. Early morning greetings with neighbors, the aroma of pawpaw and akara frying by the roadside, and the communal spirit that tied everyone together. At school, he helped organize morning assembly, assisted the principal with administrative work, and occasionally sat under the mango tree with students talking about life. Among the students was a girl named Oyiza. Oyiza wasn't the kind to draw attention to herself. She spoke rarely in class, usually kept to herself, and always came in long after the morning bell. Her uniform often had specks of dust, her sandals were worn out, and her eyes looked like they hadn't had enough sleep. Still, no matter how she looked, Oyiza showed up to school. Obiora started noticing more. She copied every note, borrowed missed classworks from others, and often asked questions when she didn't understand. There was determination behind her quietness. One day after class, Obiora decided to reach out to her. "Oyiza," she looked up quickly, startled that someone had called her. "Yes, sir," she answered. "You've been coming late a lot. Are you okay?" She looked away. "Yes, sir." Obiora nodded, sensing there was more she wasn't saying. "If there's anything you need to talk about, I'm here. You hear?" She didn't respond, just nodded slowly. Oyiza didn't show up at school. Obiora found himself distracted during lessons. He kept glancing at the back row. No Oyiza. She didn't come the day after either. But on the third day, she returned. Her uniform looked worse than usual, and she appeared even more tired. When class ended, Obiora waited by the mango tree. "Oyiza," he said, "you missed 2 days. What happened?" "Nothing, sir," she responded. "It can't be nothing," he said. "You don't look okay." She hesitated, then began. I'm sorry, sir. My grandmother was sick and I had to handle the market." "And what about your parents?" Obiora inquired. She looked at the ground and spoke quietly. "They died 2 years ago." Obiora was quiet for a while. Then he asked, "What do you mean you had to handle the market?" She nodded. "Yes, sir. I sell yam and vegetables every morning before school. My grandmother, she's old, and since Mama and Papa died, it's just me and my younger siblings." Obiora felt a heavy lump in his chest. She was only 13. Yet her responsibilities were overwhelming. Why didn't you tell anyone? Oiza shrugged. Everyone has their own problems, and I didn't want to bother anybody with mine. Obiora sighed. Has your grandmother gone to the hospital? Oiza gave a small laugh. Uncle Copper, which hospital? We barely have enough for food, let alone hospital bills. She is taking herbs to treat herself. That night, Obiora's mind was occupied by his discussion with Oiza. He felt compassion towards her and her family and wanted to help. He had no choice but to reach out to his father for assistance. So he picked up his phone and called him. Good evening, Dad. Good evening, my son. How are you doing over there? I'm fine, Dad, but there's something I need your help with. He went ahead to explain everything. Oiza, her sick grandmother, and her younger siblings. His father sighed. How serious is it, really? It's serious, Dad. She's trying so hard. She comes to school no matter what. She is just a child, yet she's carrying so much. Alright, his father said. Send me her details. Within days, help arrived. A doctor was sent to the house. Bags of foodstuff, rice, beans, milk, garri, cartons of noodles followed. Obiora decided to teach Oiza privately in mathematics after school. Sometimes he visited their home, but never alone. He brought other students who also needed extra help. The lesson became something Oiza looked forward to. For the first time in a while, someone apart from her grandmother cared for her. One afternoon, during one of their lessons, Obiora said, You are actually a very smart girl, Oiza. She smiled, slightly embarrassed. I mean it. You just need time to focus. She looked up. Nobody has ever said that to me before, Uncle Copper. Well, get used to it, he grinned. You'll be hearing it more from me. Obiora also organized a mini quiz session for the class, where Oiza performed well and was applauded by her classmates. It boosted her confidence and her voice became stronger in class discussions. But not everyone saw it that way. One day, Obiora received a letter from the NYSC local government inspector, summoning him to the office. We've received a formal complaint, the inspector said. There are allegations of inappropriate behavior with a minor. Obiora's heart sank. Ma, he began, it's a very big lie. I would never do that to her. I was only trying to help. The inspector sighed. I hope for your sake that's all you did. The news began to spread. Some teachers distanced themselves. There was uproar in the community. The elders were angry and the youths were ready to beat up Obiora. Parents began to exclaim, She is only Oiza that he's teaching after school. What is he doing in our house every week? These coppers, they always come with their tricks, looking for young girls to destroy. Soon, there were talks of police involvement, service termination, and even jail. Obiora's father had to step in. He flew down with a lawyer and a social worker. They visited the school and Oiza's home. They interviewed her, her grandmother, and the students. Then the truth surfaced, clearly and firmly. Obiora had only shown compassion. Where others had looked away, he stepped in. The NYSC board dropped the case. Community elders apologized. Even the loudest parents came forward to thank him. Oiza, now more confident, led the school's morning assembly the next week. She stood tall. Her voice was firm. Obiora stayed to the end of his service here. When he was leaving, he was sent off with smiles, prayers, and a basket full of letters. On his last day, Oiza handed him a gift, a hand-woven bracelet. I made it, she said. Obiora smiled, deeply touched. I'll keep it forever. And I will never forget you, Uncle Copper. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. This story teaches us that compassion isn't about grand gestures, but about seeing people where they are and showing up for them. Obiora's quiet impact changed a life despite challenges and accusations. In a world that can be quick to judge, it reminds us that doing good is sometimes a lonely path, but always a worthy one. True kindness, even when questioned, will always speak for itself in the end. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more interesting and engaging stories. Until next time.